Hello lovelies, how are you all doing today? I hope you are well. I thought today I'd give you a bit of an update on the garden so far, things I'm learning about the garden, that's really important. And then I've got three specific jobs to do this morning. Just to let you know, I've got my hoodie on, and that's another experiment I'm doing today. In the shade in this garden, it's really quite chilly, so I've actually got two thermometers set up today. One in the sunny part of the garden, but not in direct sunlight, because that would give a false reading. So it's in the sunny part of the garden, but in shade. And then the other one back up towards the house in the shade garden. So yeah, hoodie to begin with, and then I'll get moving. 3 jobs to get on with. But yeah, before that, I'll show you where I'm up to. Just to say as well, today it's Sunday the 18th of May. Giving you the date specifically because obviously gardening is much more time bound than any other of the videos I make. I hope, it's just there have been so many videos to share since I moved in, but hopefully over the course of the coming months and the summer, the garden videos will get back onto a schedule where they're sort of pretty much contemporaneous with the time they're shot, because otherwise I'm going to be showing you something today with seedlings, and by the time you see this you'll think, well, I've got mine planted in the garden, what are you doing, Vivi? So yeah, it's Sunday the 18th, so that might mean I go a bit more quietly because it's a quiet day, but also we might hear the bells of St Mary's. That would be lovely. Anyway, let's get on. Let me show you where the garden is at so far and some of the things I've learned about my new garden. The other thing that I perhaps ought to have said from the outset is that in making a new garden, clearing away the old, one does create a much more messy space than... I mean, it's messier now than it was when I moved in, but it's a work in progress. So you can see this is piles of waste material. I try to spend an hour each day snipping and chopping to get things into the compost. So you can see, believe it or not, it looks like a tiny amount now, but that was a pile like so that was the last hour of my time yesterday. The other thing also, sorry, just to say, I'm all over the place this morning, excited to be in the garden, is I really have not spent much time in the back garden yet. My focus has been the front garden and the flat and all the other things, so very much work in progress. So yeah, an hour a day or so of chopping, and that will go to the compost. Some bits will be too big. This is the remains of the pyracantha. Look at it, it's massive. And then there's some more over there. This, obviously now I'm at the stage where this lot needs sawing. It's too much to, obviously I can't do that with my loppers. And there's still there's about 8 feet worth of, it's about that sort of size, 8 feet of trunk from the roots going all the way up. It might even be more like 10 feet out front still, but I'll get to it. So this for now has become my kind of dumping, pile it up. It needs, pigeons are being silly, it needs more attention. But that's the thing, it's sort of, you know, in clearing a garden, we do create a lot of waste, essentially. But rather than just sort of hide it behind the shed and pretend it doesn't exist and never attend to it, this will get attended to, but just, you know, it'll take a while. And rather than throw things away in the bin, I'm going to try and get as much of it composted as I can. And as I mentioned with the pyracantha, some of the bigger bits, they are going to go into the shade garden to slowly rot and form a bit of habitat in the process. Right, so one of the jobs today is this shed. Let me just show you, because I haven't really got a gardening routine going yet. This is a mess, it's chaos. Yeah, it's been a case of grab and run, dump and run. So that's my old DVD screen stand from the flat in London, and I dragged it in the bedroom and snapped the bottom 2 legs off, but there's still a couple of shelves, so I thought, oh, I can use that for shelving in here, because at the moment, until I get the asbestos remediated, it's all asbestos, I can't screw into the walls, so that might help a bit. I've got bags down here. This is also, let me show you, oh, sorry, try and get you in. Can you see, this is all little, that's all pyracantha. This has all been, this I actually had to use the lopper on, not the secateurs. This has all been hand chopped. It's taken hours and hours and hours. I mean, just a crazy amount of time. So there's a couple of bags there. I think I've got another bag at the back. And then this will all then go on top of the soil in the shade garden to slowly rot down. If you think about a shade garden, think about woodland area and what ends up on the floor in a woodland. So again, this is me trying to, you know, not waste anything, no landfill, recycle, reuse wherever I can, and, you know, it'll be a mulch and it'll gradually rot down. That's fine, that's great. But yeah, this I need to, today, I need to pull everything out of here, because I need, there's a box back there that I need to do some potting on today, and I also use, I'm going to bring a couple of the boxes out to set up as a table, because I don't have a table yet, so I'll bring a couple of boxes out, and then on the top of the boxes I can balance, I've got that tray, I can balance that on the top, and then on top of that, that's my potting mat from Tracy, so that will be my little setup. Right, it shouldn't be too big a job. I think it's like, you know, a 20-minute job. But yeah, that chopping, getting rid of all of this material is taking hours, but I'm not in a hurry. I'm better to tackle it a little bit, not necessarily every day, trying to a bit most days, but better that than, yeah, like I said, just leaving it at the side of my plot if it was an allotment, just hiding it somewhere and ignoring it. No, let's tackle it. Okay, so now you can see I've started to tackle the ivy on this wall. I need to go down into the snicket to do it as well. So I've cleared quite a bit. This is my next section, and we can see first, there's one problem. I've lost a whole chunk of wall. But just coming back to this side, I'm starting to, I was removing the top, and you can see the damage. That's where ivy roots have got in, and they've forced the mortar out. I mean, it's quite a big crack. I don't know how much more it extends, how much it's affecting the structure, but I certainly, that is a job that will absolutely have to be addressed. It can't stay like that. You can see these have shifted. These have actually been pushed right out by the ivy. So look, I know people are like, oh, but leave the ivy on the walls, it looks lovely. Yeah, but you know, look at the damage it does. Look at the damage. Awful. And you know, this will be an incredibly expensive rebuild, because the simple fact that no piece of stone is the same as another. It's highly skilled work to build these walls. It's not like laying bricks where everything is a uniform size. So because you need a highly skilled, helicopter, air sea rescue, hope someone's okay. Yeah, because it's highly skilled work, you know, it costs more. I am though going to harvest some of the ivy for a project. So that's that wall. Yikes. So I've managed to clear quite a bit from this wall, and also this, you couldn't see the sunshine, you could not see the patio for weeds. I mean, this is a very weedy garden. That's okay. You can see there's bits I've left, such as the red valerian. I've left this for now. But again, let's just look at the wall, you know, how it's sort of trying to force the mortar out to get its own purchase. Look, that's old ivy in there, ivy stump, and it's trying to regrow. Gordon Bennett, it's tenacious stuff as well. You have to be really careful when taking it off and pulling it off, because it's so easy to grab a handful and yank, and then you're pulling the mortar out as well. So I'm being really careful and mindful not to do that. But yeah, there's campanula everywhere. That's the pretty blue one. And then there's crane's bill, or is that herb robbit? It might be herb robbit. They look the same to me. But I can also spot in here the dreaded bindweed. So I will trace that back. That will be gone. So one of the things with clearing is, and I'll show you it's more obvious in the shade garden, is it's hard to clear without disrupting whatever's next to it. So it may be that I want to keep something, but I can't keep it because I just can't get around it to clear it. So yeah, you can see here the wall is in a bit of a sorry state. Big gap there. But, and I finished clearing the border. This is the main thing. Yay, I've cleared it. Hang on, washing line's still up from yesterday. Let's come into the shade, it might be easier. Oh, there's baskets everywhere. That's my kit that as I walk around the garden, or if I go to the front garden. Yeah, you can see I've cleared the whole border now, from the manhole cover all the way. This shrub, I don't want it. I'm going to try and find someone to take it. I've been offering things online, but with no takers. It's got its label here. What's it called again? Albeit. We can't make that out, can we? Let me see if I can get you right in there. I can't make it out. Abella, grandiflora. But I don't know. For me, you can see this is the prime sunny bed. As the sun gets higher, as we go through the day, the sun will get to about here. So this is prime food growing territory. But yeah, I'm happy. Oh gosh, this has been hard work to get it cleared. What I haven't done yet is go back through the whole bed, fork through, hands and knees, with my hands in the soil, just to any little bits of root that I've missed, any bulbs I've missed. I've inherited some really lovely boulders. That's a beauty. And those two, God, they're heavy though. There's another example of wall damage from the ivy. Can you make out that hole behind? And I've got a really big one over here. Can you see behind? This shadow might be too much, but behind that white stone there, that's a hole. But I think I've got a piece of rock stone over there, which might do to plug that. But yeah, and you remember I left the allium in, so pretty, and these are all rescued. These were repositioned. So as I was clearing here, as I was clearing here, I put them in a bucket with a bit of soil. Clear. Okay, now I can plant them. And then as I carried on clearing, found a couple more, they were brought over. And I'm so glad, because they're so pretty. Lovely, loving a mist. Nigella. And once you've got Nigella in your garden, in theory, you'll always have it, because it self-seeds with gay abandon. Right, so I'm nearly there with this bed. The next stage will be, like I said, I'll go through it with a fine-tooth comb, get out as much of anything I've missed by way of, little bits of root that can re-root or bulbs, in order to get it ready for some planting. One of the thermometers is over here. It was in the shade. It's saying 27. It's not 27. The sun has moved around. Hold on a sec. I want to have it in the sunny part of the garden, but in the shade. We'll come back and check that in a minute, because I think it's going to read more like 19 or 20. the other one we'll see in a second. Oh yes, and also today, that's my tomato seedlings and my 2 pathetic courgettes and I think 4 squash. They're out here for a sun bath today. They normally live indoors at the moment, but a bit of a sun bath, and it's a little bit of hardening, a bit of wind, but these are the babies that, oh yeah, you can see they really need their pots now, really need potting on. That will happen. Are the seedlings charred, lovely. 0 spinach, so I've resown with fennel. We'll see what happens. This was all nasturtium, and I can't believe not a single germinator. So I've resown with some more squash, and then the rest are my cukes. So remember, it's the 18th of May for me. So, you know, they may catch up. The really tardy Coco de Pampour, I mean, it's like there's another one trying to emerge. They've been in now. I sowed them nigh on 4 weeks ago, 4 weeks, maybe shy a couple of days. But the nights have been really quite chilly still. That's some more cocoa. So I think I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17, I think. Oh, and 1 giganteus is trying. So from these 17, I haven't grown in this garden before, I haven't grown in this soil, in this climate. I will certainly be saving seeds from my best plant, and best plants, I'll probably earmark 2 plants for seed saving, because then as time goes on, that seed will be seed that's happy to grow in this specific garden. The brassicas, oh, teeny tiny. This is the Nero di Toscana, or Cavallo Nero. I might get, if I'm lucky, I might get 3 decent plants from them. Oh, dazzling blue kale, they need pricking out, prickling the dazzling. And then the purple sprouting broccoli, yeah, I think some of these are ready for pricking out as well. They've got true leaves showing, so yeah, I think I can prick them out. Good, there will be food in this garden this year. How well it will grow, I've no idea. Right, so let's just see if that thermometer's adjusted a bit. Oh, it's still saying 27. Let me tuck it more in the shade. You can see, hold on, I'm going to point you this way. Whilst I lean in, reach in to get that thermometer tucked right into the shade. There we go. Yeah, you can tell by the fact that so much weeding went on, so much, and you can see there's soil everywhere. The soil will eventually be swept up and put back into the beds, etc. You can tell by the position of my chair, this is where the sun is in the morning and through to the afternoon. But then, late afternoon, that's where the sun is. So you can see I sit there in the evening sunshine, 7, 8 o'clock, to do my chopping. Right, this messy end, the shade garden. So, also, this is rubbish. I think it's three of these sacks are from the front garden. It's black plastic, it's rubbish, it's just the junk that was in there. I don't have a green waste bin, so what I'm doing is I'm going to wait till I finish clearing, and then I think I'll end up with probably maybe 6 bags of rubbish. Then I found the numbers for a couple of garden waste clearers and just do it as one job. I could get a green waste bin as a garden waste bin, but I don't know. You pay for the whole year, and I won't need it after this. So rather than having a bin for a whole year, and I've got nowhere to put a bin, I could put it in the snicket. Yeah, I thought I'm just going to gather my rubbish here. There's more rubbish to show you. Now, as the course of the last couple of weeks have gone on, and I've had more chance to see the movement of the sun, and obviously the sun is getting higher each day, I can see now that, and I thought this might be the case. By the way, it's about 9:30, 10 o'clock, so the sun's still not completely up. As the course of time has gone on, I can see that my compost bin is in a really sunny spot. What a waste. That needs to be for plants. So despite at the very beginning me saying, you know, wherever you put your compost bin, you really want that to be its permanent spot. Yeah, ideally it would be in its permanent spot, but I've changed my mind and it's moving down here. This needs a good trim. Now, I was saying a second ago about how in order to get the pernicious weeds out, sometimes it's impossible not to move a plant that one might want to keep, and that's certainly been the case down here. You can see I'm clearing space for the bin. And the other thing in terms of learning and etc., and this has been a really good exercise, is this patch of soil is considerably more moist than I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it, than this patch. So that's the other thing to check in your garden if you've got a new garden, is where do you have really dry areas, do you have really wet areas, because that's going to dictate what you can plant. You know, if it's an arid, dry loving plant, there's no point in planting it somewhere that's really, really wet. They're just not going to get on. So you may really, really love a particular plant, but if it's not suitable for that area of your garden, there's no point in trying because it's a recipe for failure. So have a think about moisture levels in your garden as well when you're planning it. Now this jasmine, and I can see it's jasmine now that it's got its leaf. When I moved in, it didn't have any leaf, so it's hard to tell, but that needs a little bit of training. It might need a tiny bit of pruning, not much, because it just gives a bit of privacy between me and my neighbour, so I don't want to take it out, I don't want to hack it back. It just needs a little bit of training, that's it really. And it was bearing that in mind, I'm looking at, it's like, oh, where does it live? Okay, it lives down here. This is where its root is somewhere. Therefore, because originally I was thinking the bin would go here, and then it's like, oh, no, that's where my jasmine is starting, so we'll leave that alone, we'll move the bin further over. Now, this area was an absolute mat of Crocosmma, and again, I've offered it, no takers. I will keep some of the corms, but it's oh my goodness. This space here is about 1.5 meters, maybe 1.5 meters by 1 meter. That took me about 3 hours a few days ago. I am going to now clear the rest of it. I just need a clean slate. So clear it, being mindful that the jasmine starts here. This is all pernicious weeds. They need to go. They take over. And the little one I can't remember its name, but that one, this is the one that's responsible for dislodging my coping stones on my front garden wall. This plant has moved stone, believe it or not. So I'm going to clean all this out, resite the compost bin, and probably clear most of this now as well. I'll keep I took a leaf off, I crushed it, I smelled it. It doesn't smell like bay. I think this is the one that you all suggested was the viburnum, which again, it needs a little, I don't particularly like it. I don't really like it at all. The colour is lovely, the shape is horrible, but again, privacy, so it can stay, but maybe I'll shape it. This one, though, like I say, I'm not sure that it's bay, and I also, the slight concern, I'll get you right in here now, oh, it's easier to film in shade, is, hold on a sec, can you see in terms of the trunk, look, that's huge. I think this is far too big to have right next to that wall. It's going to put this wall, by the way, where I am on this side, my ground level next door, it drops 6 feet, 6 foot. This wall cannot get damaged, and I'm worried that this, I mean, it's huge. I just think it's the wrong plant for this space. Is it bay? It just doesn't smell. I'm trying to think, what does it smell like? No, I can't describe the smell. Anyway, yeah, I think that's going to have to come out. But my neighbours have got a window right there, so I might need to put something. So what I could do, it'll take a while though, is I need to put up some, rather like, I've got this trellis here, continue the trellis, and then I think honeysuckle, because honeysuckle don't mind shade. Yeah, those trunks, those trunks worry me. And yeah, more Crocosmma. Can you imagine? Once upon a time, someone planted 10 corns. They've just taken over. They are the Crocosmma. Look, if you've got the space, I don't mind them. I don't really love the red ones, the Lucifer. But they are rampant and invasive. So if you are going to plant them, it's probably a good idea. Oh no, some more stone. Yay! Every bit of stone is going to be useful in terms of any rebuilding, any gap plugging I have to do. Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to plant it, maybe sink a tub, a bucket, whatever, plant pot into the ground first and plant within that so that they can't, you know, get out either side. Here's my other thermometer. Will this pick up on camera? It's reading at about 13 degrees, which Fahrenheit is 56-ish. I mean, you can see it's about 10-degree difference. It's huge. There's all sorts of bits around the garden, like there's some roof tiles, there's this old gate which I'm going to keep because I'm going to use it, I think, to have things climbing up. Not sure where yet. But I need to have a bit of a gathering session. So there's bricks and weeds. Gather all this stuff together in one place so I can see what I've got and what I might use it for. Also, whilst we're at the back here, this Sheila, I think it was, she mentioned the fact that there are 2 steps here. She said, did there used to be a door? Well, not from the bedroom, no. But I think it was a good guess because that's my loo. Now look at the window. But the brickwork, okay, so if we look at, say, the bedroom window, you can see the brickwork stops at the bottom of the window. Likewise, oh, it's a tight space. This is my kitchen window. You can see how the brickwork, it's just decorative to finish off the window. It stops at the bottom. Coming back to the loo, you can see how it doesn't stop at the bottom of the window. It carries on right the way to the floor. So, yes, Sheila, I think this was the original back door. She was also asking if this whole rear section of the house, it goes up and up and up and up and up. Just got my rafter tail showing. Was this an addition? Was the kitchen an addition? No, it wasn't. This is all original to the property. Yeah, it's all original. And where I now have a loo, coming back, so that's my loo, that originally wouldn't have been there. They wouldn't have needed it because they had the outhouse, which I now have for a shed. Yay, things to discover. What I'm also discovering, and there's so much rubbish in here. There's bits of broken scaffold, and I've been pulling out these things. I don't know what they're called, but it's, you know, when they put scaffolding up, these kind of like where they make all the joints. Where they make all the joins with scaffolding, and chipped roof tiles. So, talking of baskets for chopping, so that's more material to chop. That's the Crocosmma foliage. I've kept the corms separate in case anyone does want to have them. But yeah, that's where I'm up to. So what was that thermometer again? 13, wasn't it? Which is about what did I say in Fahrenheit? So I can't remember Fahrenheit. Dear American friends, please go metric. So it looks like it's about 53. So 13 and 53. Actually, I'm going to have to take this with me now to remember the Fahrenheit for the other one. So 13 over here. And in the evening, as the sun moves around, the sun gets to about here. So I can do a little bit of planting here as well. This could be, because it's a bit more shady, or it's got shade longer in the day, this could actually be for sort of saladings, you know, sort of spinach and the leaves that don't like... Oh, you see, there's a sparrow having a dust bath. They've been really loving having their dust baths in my soil. Oh, off you go. Sweet. Oh, glad we had that little moment. Yeah, there's sort of the salad type leaves that droop if they're in full sun all day. They could just come. Oh, there we go. Coming eastward, just come here at the bottom of the jasmine roots, and maybe even some. Oh, I'm thinking about herbs. Which herbs don't mind a bit of shade? Because then we're near the back door for a quick come out for herbs. Actually, maybe that would be my spot for herbs. And someone mentioned, and yes, of course I will, that's where the manhole cover is. That's another massive broken crock I found. It's just someone's rubbish buried. Yes, I will. I'll disguise that with a couple of pots. Will go on there, or I might have a trough or something that's easy to move, even when it's planted up, but just to cover it, and again, just increase growing space. Well, it's a start, isn't it? Okay, mess, or should I say? No, you know what? It's not mess. It's work in progress. Work in progress. Big work in progress. But just starting to, you know, claim this garden for me and my food. Obviously, I haven't touched the patio yet. It's a state, but you know, I don't. This one keeps tripping me. This is a bit of a nasty lip here. You can see. Catch your toe on that. It's not ideal, and in time I have plans for the patio and to expand my growing areas and all that, but for now, in terms of clearing, yay. The bed is done and I'm starting on the ivy, and yeah, just discovering my garden and which jobs are priority and which jobs can just happen over time. Oh, let's go and check this poppy that has seeded in the patio. That can stay for now, as can this nigella. But I think before it goes to seed, I might have it out. I'll enjoy the flower, but not let it seed. Now, let's see what this thermometer is saying in the shade. I mean, you can see it's in deep shade there. It says 22.5. Now that, hold on, I'm going to sit a second. Bring you back here. Actually, I think this will be too long a video if I do all my jobs in this same video. Okay, we can't. I'm not high enough to show you the sea. 22 point something in the shade is 22.7. That's about 72. So for Fahrenheit people, well, Americans, that's 53 at one part of the garden, 72 at the other. So it's nigh on 20 degrees difference. For Brits, we've gone 13 to 22. Again, it's nearly 10 degrees centigrade difference. So these are the really good things to discover. You know, I mentioned this when I first showed you the garden, I think, or the second time. People had talked about having fruit on the wall by the shed. No, it's in shade all day. all day. Those stones, if you put your hand on them, they're cold. These stones, these walls, you put your hand on them in the afternoon and there's a warmth to them that's lovely, and then of course that warmth radiates back into the garden as the sun goes down. Not that wall, it's cold. Which actually is fine, because then if we have really, really hot days, we're not going to get the heat down here that I used to experience in London. It just doesn't happen. But if we do have a 30-degree day, then how great that I have got these really quite cool spots, so I can still be outside enjoying my outside time, but I'm not frying. Now, drop my thermometer. I think we're going to leave this video here, a little tour of the garden. There we go. It's my first garden tour. It's been a while since I did a garden tour, isn't it? I think I've just dropped that thermometer again. I think the last time I did one was towards the end of my time on the allotments. It would have been February 2024. It's over a year since I've done a garden tour with you. So I'm going to leave it there with the garden tour. Off camera now, I'm going to carry on with that Crocosmma that's going to be there's enough space to move the bin now, but it would be awkward if I move the bin now. So I'm just going to carry on clearing that shade bed. Or I think what I should call it, where I was talking about maybe having some salad leaves, that's going to be called the semi-shade bed. So I've got the bed, that's this one here in full sun. I've got the semi-shade bed, and then up towards my bedroom, that's the shade garden, which we'll talk about another day. That's not a priority. The priority is getting food in the soil. All right, gorgeosities. I can take my hoodie off now. I'm warming up in the sun. All right, lots of love to you all. Happy gardening, and I will see you again before too long, I hope, with another garden update. And hopefully it won't be too long before I actually start putting things into the soil. Anyway, in the meantime, look after yourselves. For now, cheerio. Little sparrows chirp. I love the sparrows. They just sound... it's a happy sound to me. It's like, yay, yay. It's like they're continually saying, yay, it's great to be alive, yay. If I was in bird form right now, that would be me. A sparrow just chirping, yay, I'm happy to be alive, yay, I'm happy to be here. There we go, right, I'm off. Cheerio, lovelies.